So next we start up the post-game bosses. First up is Ferro Man, who... yeah, his first appearance is kind of lacking. Poor guy. Ferro Man kind of got the short end of the stick in the Battle Networks universe. His design is alright, but it could have been cooler. And he just destroyed his own Pharaoh Trap button. Nice. There really isn't too much to this one, I'm afraid. Basically, just stay in the front column, stay out of the line of the coffins so that they can't hit you. Staying close like this makes it so the Ratons can't hit you. It seems like he was at least moderately more difficult in his second appearance. I'd like to hope so, anyway. Because, I mean, really, that was it? And even at that, I was still able to get a Ferro Man version too, so, yeah. I am fairly certain that he improved in a later appearance, though. Okay, next up is ShadowMan. ShadowMan really isn't too terribly bad, at least not in the first game. Just keep moving to dodge the shurikens. Counter after he lands, and this isn't too bad a battle buster only, really. Sometimes he even just kind of gets stuck in a loop like this. So long as you kind of try to keep his clones to a minimum, this isn't too difficult a battle, really. Just counter where you can, and at least in the first game he couldn't corner you and use Muramasa. He could in later games, and that got problematic. His clones could come over to your side to use long swords, and he himself could warp in to use Muramasa, and so he could kill you pretty fast. Basically, this one's just a battle of speed. And there we go. So, yeah, ShadowMan really isn't all that bad, buster only. So now we end things by going after base, and this is going to be a tough one. The buster cannot take down the life aura, no matter how strong you have it. It just can't do that much damage. For that matter, it also can't flinch him from attacks, making this a lot harder. The only time he voluntarily drops the life aura is during charge attacks. I have to hope for good luck that he'll keep doing the blue charge, because that's the only one I can reliably dodge. The red and the yellow ones, oh, thank gods, just keep that going, please. The red and the yellow just require superhuman reflexes that I do not have. Okay, good, he's keeping it going. Come on, please, more blue charge. Yes! Come on, more blue, please. Yes! Okay, I will not deny that was absolute and total luck, but I'll bloody well take it. He does pay well, though, if you don't get life aura from him, wow. So, yeah, base is hard. Very, very hard. Unless you have access to a chip folder, in which he actually becomes very easy in the first game, actually. If you can flinch him out of his charge attacks, he's almost completely helpless. But yeah, doing it buster only, dear gods. If anyone out there can actually do it without him just using blue charges like that, I would be interested to see that. I would bow down at your feet. But for me, I'll take this victory. Hey, you didn't think I'd be doing something like a perfect run without outtakes, did you? Enjoy. The rock cube, fortunately, he can only have... Bugger! At least he gives you a little bit more reaction time than base does with some of his dodges. Bugger! And, of course, just reacting and not going onto the shiny panels. Okay, so a fully charged shot can at least get rid of the Bone Stalkers. Or you can crash right into them. Brilliant. Just make sure that the dummies position themselves... walked right into that one. Ow. Bugger. But if he summons two of those, there really isn't anything he can do. The blue ones fire aqua towers, and I just got hit. Oh, you bastard. Obviously best when he pulls off the blue one, because that's the easiest to dodge. Red, not so much. Will I get lucky and him use it again? No, red. That's bad. That is bad. I'm gonna get zapped. Yes, I am. Come on, one more time. Uh-oh, yellow. Bugger! 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 Since this time around I didn't have to worry about any stages, just boss battles, I'm going to do the difficulty analysis a little bit different this time, with this handy chart that rates everyone from hardest to easiest. Let's have a look at the rankings. Yeah, the ratings are kinda all over the place for the first game here, from the incredibly easy Gutsman to the sadistically hard bass. So, let's have a look. Gutsman and Ferro Man were probably the easiest too. With Gutsman you just kinda have to keep your distance because his few long-range attacks are very easy to see coming. As for Ferro Man, with him you just want to get as close as possible so his attacks almost can't really even hurt you. Number Man mainly suffers since he never moves, so he's an easy target, plus his attacks don't really have much threat behind them. Fireman and Iceman try to be a little bit harder, but they're not too much more difficult. With Fireman, the main threat is the firearm attack. It can come out faster than you expect, and it's also easy to misjudge just how long it lasts. Iceman, on the other hand, is fairly clever. He tries to narrow your playing field with the ice cubes, and then uses Freeze Bomb, and doesn't really give you too much time to anticipate it, so it can be a little tricky to see it coming and react in time, but still not too bad. With Proto Man, it's all about timing. Get it right and he's very easy to deal with, but if you counter him at the wrong time, he can become a bit of a problem. With Elecman, his main threat is when he starts calling down lightning bolts, but from my experience, he actually doesn't do that all that commonly. When he does, though, you just have to move quickly, and most of his other attacks are pretty easy to stop, even his healing. Skullman, you just have to keep your cool and get rid of the Bone Stalkers as soon as they appear. Other than that, he's very straightforward. With Stone Man, it's just a matter of judging where the boulders are going to fall, getting used to spotting the shadows and getting out of the way. But when he starts setting rock cubes, sometimes they can be positioned in a way that obscure the shadows and make it a little bit trickier. With Bomb Man, the nasty thing there is he is good at setting up traps, to where if you try and dodge either a mine or a bomb, you'll end up setting the other one off, so that can be a bit of a problem. With ShadowMan, it's all about speed. His attacks aren't too hard to see coming, and it's easy to keep clearing his copies away. The main deal is just moving fast enough to get out of the way of the Shadow Blades when he starts throwing those. Then there's Woodman. He's incredibly durable, you can't flinch him even with the most powerful heat attacks, really. And also, the flashing panels lure you in like a moth to a flame. It's hard to get it into your head that you need to avoid those. With Colorman and Sharkman, they rely on their dummy copies, really, to hide behind them. With Colorman, the dummies are just really annoying in their movement patterns, and the fact that he hides behind them so much. Plus, he fires towers, as does Sharkman, so you have to be careful getting around those. Colorman also has the added annoyance of the fact that he can damage you after the battle has ended. Gods, that's annoying. As for Sharkman, there's the fun little game of, okay, which fin is real? Magic Man and Life Virus are actually both fairly comparable since they rely on summons so much. Life Virus is a bit more frantic in that. Both of these fights were actually pretty fun, but difficult. But it's the fun kind of difficult. I liked those two fights. As for Base, I'm not even going to pretend that that wasn't pure unadulterated luck. Yeah, I'm sure if you have good enough reflexes, you can do it without that amount of luck, but suffice it to say, I don't have those reflexes. If someone does out there and goes for it, I'd be interested in seeing it. So, yeah, that's pretty much that. And with that, we're finally done with Mega Man Battle Network 1. The main run is done, the extra footage is done, I can finally put this project to bed. So, with the holidays coming up, I'm going to be taking it a little bit easy now. I'm not quite certain what my next project is going to be, but rest assured, I have plenty of ideas, and hopefully you'll enjoy whatever it is I decide to work on next. Hopefully you enjoyed this, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you again next time. Until then, fare thee well.